Content strategy is one of the things that marketers are facing and revamping it to a next level.
Big challenge was to bring the entire organization together on one platform to understand what personalization for the reader, for the user means.
People have time. It's not that people don't have time. They just want to use their time in a better structured way.
Consumers will make time if brands impact their world. That's brands that are working for the betterment of the society. This means that the brand's roles in consumers' lives is going to accelerate. The first question that we have for growing at scale. So winning in 2023 is our big agenda, what's CX superpower and how do you grow at scale? So any one top trend for 2023 that's worth noting, that's worth catching, that people should observe. I'll start with you, Priyang.
It sounds quite simple, but I think content strategy is one of the things that marketers are facing and revamping it to a next level. Every brand has a content strategy in place, but I think placing the content layer at the top and putting a layer of self-learning engine over the content makes the overall package of content into an asset. And this particular asset then will definitely lead to a better conversion or better commerce for the customers. To make it very simple, just for example, if I say that this particular content piece will work better in North India and this content piece will work better in South India. So how you can get this particular data insights with the help of tech stack, that is AI and ML, and how you can get this particular thing from your data science makes a particular content piece into an asset, and this particular asset can be then seen as a commerce piece from the business standpoint. So I think this is one of the top trends that marketers are focusing on or might be looking out in the next couple of years.
Being a tech company, you face a lot of criticism over how you collect data and how do you use that data, how do you process it. What we've realized is while you cannot keep fighting misunderstanding or misconception or even trolling for that matter, what we've realized is, and what we've done as an effort over the years is we've been treating our influencers, actually our users as influencers. So when we supply them with the right information, these are the people who stand up and fight for you. So when Truecaller got called out as a Chinese app, even before our social media mechanism and our ORM could kick in, there were already people who were saying you should go and see their website, they're a Swedish company. And that for me is the most powerful thing that we need to harness. When you have great experience, the ultimate objective is your users can potentially become your biggest influencers. And when they talk, authentic listening and authentic speaking conversations, those I think are the most powerful way to create a great aura around your brand. So I think that's something that I've seen a lot of brands starting to do, but it's a work in progress for all of them.
Purpose-based and one higher order, finding your purpose. I think what's happened in the last 2-3 years as users, humans, consumers, brands is over this period of 2-3 years. I think, everybody's had a lot of, we were talking about hyper-personalization, hyper-realizations around just lives and brands that we interact with and products that we use and our own interactions with each other. I think the first thing is also around finding your purpose as brands, and a lot of people have started doing that now around COVID, around environment, around climate. So finding that higher purpose and being genuine about it. So Body Shop does that very well, for example, where they've started converting their outlets into places where their employees can be activists for small pieces. Things like that, just living and walking the talk, that's one. And the second is around formats. I think video is not going to go out anytime soon. Short form videos, finding your way to communicate fast, obviously thanks to attention spans, which don't seem to be growing anymore. So these two things I think will continue to be.
Consumers are always going to be short on time, and it's even becoming more at a premium. But consumers will make time if brands impact their world, and that's what the whole fulcrum I think Aparna also is bringing out. You would have seen that consumers are more likely to support, from Manan's example, brands that are working for the betterment of the society. She mentioned things like climate change, societal causes that are about social issues that they care about, truly speaking. And this means that the brand's roles in consumers' lives is going to accelerate. We spoke a lot about humanized brands. There was a whole concept of humanized brands, and they were part of this panel, and you spoke very well. Thank you. We should get you to a more structured conversation perhaps the next time, because you speak very passionately and you spoke very well. So we should delve deep into this topic because it's very pertinent, very important. It's a game changer today. While technology is a great leveler, this could be a significant differentiator for a brand, because it's like the Oberoi example, and I was so amazed. I've read a lot about marketing, but this is not available easily in marketing books, and it's so wonderful what Lloyd shared. So brands that are purpose related, have accountability, have authenticity. We spoke about honesty, and that's the whole authenticity factor, and around societal concerns. That's where customer trust is most likely going to be. So I think we covered question 1 and 2 that I had in the first part. So thanks for helping me speed up in the interest of everybody's time, and we all are intelligent people, we get it. So my last question really, and this would be interesting because I've got 3 very diverse brands over here, and in fact before I ask my third question, I want to make a small plug so nobody forgets about it, and what questions you raised, So this soar higher theme that we came up was not really anything to do with message board. We've been thinking about it, just luck by chance that we got a lovely partner which is message board. But soar higher, so we did a couple of campaigns. Our last year theme was Made of Bold for our Echo Awards, and then for the unlock part of things, we said brave new ideas. So where do you go beyond this? So you soar higher, and we had the Trailblazer Award. So we have a lot of marketing influencer recipients over here. That's one of the highest honor that's there. So I'm seeing my friends Amit Roy, Manan, I'm having Vishwajit over here. If I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry. But this is a program which started as the Marketer of the Year in 2014, which became Marketing Influencer, and then the Trailblazers Award program. Pravin's also here, sorry. So if I forget names, all of you have won some award or the other, some recognition at DMA. So if I miss it, I'm getting old. But we had the Trailblazer Awards program last year, and we said we'll identify pioneers. We identified 10 pioneers per city: Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. This year we are going to have 2023 Trailblazer. And where do we go from there? From pioneers to where? So we said soar higher. You've been a pioneer, you've done something first, but now let's recognize those people and those corporations which have made a difference to society, which have made a difference to people's lives. It's not about you inventing sliced bread, but how are you making a bigger impact than inventing sliced bread, to the society in general. So those are kind of things, but that program is separate, but this is soar higher for now. So coming back to this agenda over here, but please do participate in Trailblazers. If you have an idea or whatever, just come back. But the last question over here, and it's a trick question to all 3 of them, and I'm sure they all were very uncomfortable, but still I pose to them. You can skip it if you like. We'll start with you, might be a little easier for you. So we were talking about mass personalization. How does your brand deliver mass personalization at scale?
For personalization, I think 2 things are very important, because there are a lot of touch points for the customer. It can be online, it can be offline. You should have one single view of the customer. That's very, very important. And enrich that single view of the customer over the years. Whatever traits you are trying to find out for a customer, just try to stitch in those particular traits. And once you make this particular first party data quite enriching, then you can make particular cohorts of those particular customers, which can be then given the right communication, personalized communication at the right time. Second point, keeping it very short. Second point is that I think the personalization strategy should be from a 360-degree angle, not from one only angle. We only think, hey Priyang, if I get a notification, hey Priyang, it's a personalization. No. Hey Priyang is just a part of a personalization. The personalization can be in acquiring a customer. The personalization can be in the form of the content or the communication that you are doing on the emailers. Suppose, let's take an example, if I am suffering from a particular disease, I am getting the regular or a relevant content from that particular disease. That's called personalization. The personalization can be on pitching or the cross-sell or upsell of a particular product. So it should be from a holistic 360-degree rather than only from getting into the name of the particular customer. We take this particular thing as a personalization.
It's not about receiving an email that says, "Hi Vatsal, that's the base level of CRM. That's not really personalization, right? What I can say from our experience is 70% of the features and products that you see inside the Truecaller app are actually features and products that people wanted. They've sent us emails, they've talked to us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. And those products, those features make it relevant for that user to spend more time on it. So like you were saying, people have time. It's not that people don't have time. They just want to use their time in a better structured way.
Correct.
Right?
It's about binge watching on Netflix. People have a lot of time for Netflix, about things or topics that interest them. So as long as you are able to understand the need, you're going to.
So in fact, the Netflix example, the surprise me feature that they've added, that's actually based on user feedback. Like, a 1.5 hour movie, I actually spent half an hour finding which is the right movie to watch or which is the right program to watch. When I click on surprise me, it actually surprises me, and that's great personalization. So it's not about hi XYZ, but it's about what can I do better for you. And that's, I think, where this whole personalization game is moving towards. Not just building great communication, but building great products when that communication leads that customer to your product or your service. So I think that's one of the things I would say.
Thank you. So the biggest challenge is with you having a product that's so difficult to personalize. Do you have any thoughts about it?
Of course, it also pays to go last, because then you can collect all the nuggets. It's also, HD, I think, now going to turn 100, 24 years. It's like I keep using this analogy, sloth in ice age. It moves very, very slowly, but when it moves, then it moves. I think the biggest thing, and a lot of things that Girish was saying, it completely resonates. One thing is hyper-personalization without feeling like you're in the Truman Show. Everything is going to be hyper-personalized. You want to be able to choose your environment, where you want to consume, and this is now content, news that we're talking about. So how are you not intrusive? I'm using a lot of these words in a connected way. The first thing and the first big challenge for us, and now 2020, September, in the throes of the first wave of COVID, we relaunched the brand. We repositioned the brand. It's now first voice, last word. So we say that we'll give you all perspectives, you decide. Somebody had mentioned that, don't be prescriptive to the user. Here it is, and this is the news, and this is the content, this is the perfect way for you to consume it. Take them to the well, let them drink, and, at least, and be very, very genuine about it. The first challenge we faced was for everybody to voice the same thing. Large cross-functional teams in large organizations have very, very different definitions about how to personalize a user experience, a consumer experience. And here we're talking about editorial teams, programmatic teams, sales teams. How do you bring all that together? I think that was the first big challenge and then in the middle of COVID, digital newsrooms are growing, print newsrooms are doing what they're doing. So for HD, I think the first big challenge was to bring the entire organization together on one platform to understand what personalization for the reader, for the user means, making that a priority, making data a priority, making the right CDPs. Nobody really knew which platform to base all this on. So I think operationalizing, without just talking, but actually walking the talk by operationalizing first and being ready to offer that experience to personalize for users becomes absolutely key. And we're still on that journey. And now, as we launch more and more products, there's something called HD Premium. We've just launched OTT Play from the house of HD. So you were talking about, it's a ratings and recommendations app for content. So I think before all of that, the first baseline had to be laid on how to operationalize personalization. So yeah.